Hey, it's Cal Forever here. Check out that beautiful view. I just wanted to do a video kind of talking about myself, my experience, what I've gone through the past 4 years going through my awakening, my struggles, and just kind of what I'm trying to do as of service. And I guess I'll just get to it. I feel like I'm here to do sound healing, to bring the light, to activate people, to help people hitchhike their way into this new vibration, to be the energetic way shower and light and support that helps people heal themselves from addictions and things that I've gone through that I have personal experience with. Something that kind of came up, I almost feel embarrassed about this. You know, when I went through my awakening, I just went. I felt the vibes. I worked with the energies and I just put myself out there. I was raw, I was vulnerable, and I really liked that essence. There's this one video, and it was when I first started doing the overtone parts of my throat singing, and it just sounds terrible. And then it's like, I was talking about, like, come on, guys, I can't do this alone. And it's like, it just like stunk of desperation. And it's like, maybe it didn't stink of desperation. Maybe that's me just kind of like discerning or judging myself. But I'm saying this because, anyone else that's trying to be of service and to make a career and to make a living, to stand on their own 2 feet, to get a return for their hard work that they put out, that's part of my journey and my struggle, and feeling like no one's paying attention to me, no one's watching my YouTube videos, no one's receiving my message. And people definitely were receiving my message and giving me great feedback. And I was at the stupa yesterday and I was just doing my mantras. It was like a Buddhist temple. And this guy, I think he was Canadian, with this couple, I think he was doing like a drum ceremony in the medicine wheel in that area. And he stopped and talked with me to thank me for sharing the throat singing and how powerful it was. He's like, man, do you have a CD? I'm like, kind of. It's not that great. Which reminds me, I need to create CDs and share them and put them on my Facebook page, Cal Forever Sound Healing. And, I feel like I could record some great activations just on my cell phone alone. And so I think I might do that and get to that and get some of this energy out and hopefully get a return for my hard work and service. Sometimes it feels like no one's paying attention to me at times, and like I'm just exhausting myself. But I know I'm in alignment when I feel nourished by the work that I do. And what's really cool is, like, when I help people, when I do the throat singing and give people upgrades and activations and clearings, it upgrades and activates and clears me. So that's amazing. So I love what I do, even though it can be difficult at times to be as sensitive and empathic and feeling collective, or just the compassion and sensitivity. Like, people go through hard times, people experience pain. So do I. And the fear and I feel rather fearless and very tough and brave and courageous. The thing is about bravery is, I learned this from Blue Power Ranger. Bravery is when you do something regardless of the fear. So it's like you're afraid, but you do it anyways. And that's kind of what I learned, which I've kind of dialed down because I feel like I was doing it too much, where it was like almost led to impulsivity, where I wouldn't think much about a decision and I would just go and do it anyways. And I ended up kind of getting very ungrounded and out there in my thinking and dealing with a lot of frustration, was creating a lot of things. But anyways, I'm here to be of service, and sharing my own struggles, I feel like serves people, to let you know that you're not alone. And it just feels good to hear, because I know that I'm not alone at this. But like, one of the spiritual teachers that I follow is Matt Kahn, and like listening to his teachings, like, it's just comforting. It's like I know that I'm not alone, but it's just like it makes me feel better. And we all need each other. We all need support. We all need relationships, and a good relationship with ourselves. And that also takes being away from people and having isolation to do the inner work. There's a lot of people, especially here in Sedona, that talk about this spirituality like it's some new fad, and self-righteousness, and they don't always embody the teachings. They aren't always going through the energy. They're just kind of talking about it, or have just like scratched the surface and think they have it all figured out. And I've been there. In the past 4 years, I've progressed so much. But for me, talk a little bit about my kind of awakening. I started experiencing energy when I was probably 16 years old. And I've always kind of been empathic and compassionate and kind and sensitive and just different. Always been different. I remember my mom, when I was a little kid, like trying to figure out what was wrong with me, taking me to the doctors and giving me MRIs to figure out what was wrong with me. And my mom was just like, there's nothing really wrong with Calvin. It's just like he's just different. And I feel like that's important to share, because as a light worker, we're almost a different type of human. And it may be that we're genetically different. It may be that we're evolving. It may be that we just have light inside of us that has been activated where it's just dormant in others. And I really do believe that everyone has this potential to awaken, but also like in their own divine timing, when they're ready, when they're prepared and they've learned the lessons they need to learn. So I want to be of service. I love sharing my throat singing. I love working with sound. I love meditating. I love communicating with the Akashic records, with the energy, with guides, channeling. And I really just want to get it out there to as many people as I can, and attracting abundance so I can create more. I do want to buy land in the future and create a permaculture and a healing crisis place, because I've been in healing crisis. I've been dealing with energy that had given me anxiety because it was overwhelming or scary or just new, and like, is this going to go away? Is this even energy? Like, is there something wrong with me? Like, ascension symptoms or kundalini symptoms. So I want to create a healing crisis place or village where people have a safe haven to receive the help. And also, you don't even have to be in a healing crisis to be there. And it's all self-sufficient, in permaculture and organic and in nature, away from the hectic city hustle and bustle. I grew up on a farm in Nebraska for most of my life and grew pumpkins for 5 years. That was quite interesting. It's so beautiful. Man, it just came from up there. But, so I grew up kind of out in the boonies, in the middle of nowhere, and I like that silence. I like the simplicity. Some people like a lot of the activity and stuff of cities, and, I think cities are beautiful. I can't stay in cities for too long, but I'm like so open to experience new things in life. And, I'm afraid to skydive. But anyways, about done with my hike. Just keep this video about 10 minutes. Trying to think of what else to say. Trying to think about the energy, and I think over the next 2 years there's going to be some dramatic shifts. There's going to be dramatic shifts in the collective because people are waking up. This is becoming, and that's probably why there's kind of a fad of it. It's like this is becoming a normal thing, like this spirituality. Like we're shifting into it, and I think there's a tipping point, and we might be at a certain tipping point to where people are going to accept that these changes are happening. Of course, some people won't. Some people will be in denial. And some people will just be too resistant, and having compassion and love and respect for people. You know, I see a lot of spiritual people that don't seem to have a lot of respect for people that are asleep. And, you know, everyone's where they need to be at on their journey, learning the lessons that they need to learn. And we need to respect those people, you know. And we need to anchor in the light. We need to love those people and support those people, you know. Cal Forever here. Thanks for listening. Peace.